hustling my whole life. I stay hustling my whole life.
Pitchin Grindnin podcast with your host Klassik, Anaya, Daffe, and Aaron.
Yeah, we back another week. You know what I'm saying? Pitchin Grindnin podcast. What's going on?
Ain't not much, man. Glad we here. I listen. It's a rough time to record because I know football games is on, and I know all of Americans are watching these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I got to see that Kansas City game. You know what I'm saying? I knew they was gonna win. I knew it was gonna win. Everybody counting them out, talking about their wide receivers dropping the ball all year, and
that's what I said. I said
back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, that kid Mahomes is something else. I will say that. Without him, they wouldn't be what they're doing. I don't care who Andy Reid coaches. If it ain't him, it ain't that.
Right back to the Super Bowl.
Shit, I haven't watched the full game. I guess the only game I'm really gonna watch is the motherfucking Super Bowl.
Oh, then I've been watching games all year.
All year?
I don't miss the Sunday is my chill day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I got you. I guess I'm gonna have to let you do my football ticket. Try to win me some money or something.
That's the only time I sit back. Sunday is the day that, sit back, lay back, watch out, and watch football. But football about to be over at the Super Bowl, so it's an open calendar.
So it's time for Klassik to watch baseball then. My sport.
I hate baseball.
Oh, god damn. You rough, man.
I hate baseball.
You rough like that.
I ain't watched baseball since Dow Strawberry and Doc Gooden.
That's the motherfucking 80s. This is about 40 years ago. They got some new.
Huh? I ain't watched baseball since then.
Okay. So tonight we have a guest. We'll get right into what he's got going on. But Stan Campbell he has a dope movement at he's originally from the Brick City, but he made a lot of his roots down in OKC, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited to talk about that because we have to learn how to be safe and conscientious with firearms and protecting ourselves and our family. So
Tisha Campbell's brother.
Okay. Yeah, try to fuck with her. She's got hands though.
Yeah, she got hands, but he'll lay you out too though.
He'll lay you out. Yeah, no ceasefire when it comes to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he coming to get you.
Yeah, it coming to get you, Stan. But
So new Netflix special because I know you love Well, me too. Me and you, El Chapo, the twins.
I already started watching the Griselda thing already.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. How's that?
It's good so far. You know what I'm saying? She the way they did it, I don't know how true this is, but she was getting fucked, by a lot of people in Miami or whatever, trying to get started type of deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they would lie too much about that.
So, and she started gaining a lot of power. But I think they jumping around because it's a limited series, so it's only like 6 episodes right off the back. So it ain't. I think they jumping around a lot, especially looking at the captions and how the next show is going to start and stuff. So they jumping around and trying to. It's I don't know. But
do you enjoy it though? Is it good entertainment?
Yeah, it's good. Because I like watching things like that. So it's good. But I think they should have made it a long series like Narcos. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how she is.
Right. Well, because remember I told you to watch the one out of Colombia. Well, that one was like 20 episops. But
I started watching that. I'm almost.
That was real good. You could learn Spanish watching that.
Yeah, pretty much because everything is Spanish.
Everything. That was straight from Colombia. It was like Pablo. The guy was always fixing his hair, little fat, crumpy guy. But it was a great episode. So whoever. The only thing, like people talk about Tubi, but I like how it gives people opportunity to kind of make their bones to to start up and make feature films. So that's a good look. How did Sofia Vergara look?
Oh, she looked good.
Yeah. She ain't no spring chicken. I'm glad she got her opportunity. She got it.
One thing about it is if you watch Narcos and those series like that, a lot of those actors that's in that are in this. I guess that's the next
Yeah, they like Spike Lee. They just use the same motherfuckers. They just recycle. Because I remember one time, motherfucker was Pablo Escobar. You go to another episode. He was the bodyguard. I said, damn, they use him for everything.
Yeah, you see a lot of the same actors that was in the other joints in this one or whatever. But it's cool. Like I said, they should have made it a long series instead of it being limited. I know it's going to be more episodes than what it is, but they should have came off like how Narcos was and made it 2 or 3 seasons because that's how her life was.
Right. Yeah, she definitely put a lot. Yeah, very negative woman, very
Yeah,
negative
no, yeah,
person. Oh,
she,
not a, and she got killed in a negative way down in
yeah.
Colombia.
At
But
first, she wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? She was on some old regular stuff, and then and she didn't want to kill kids, and then one time she had somebody push the button like, "Yo, do it." She told him to do it. She regretted how the shit happened, but you know
yeah,
that's
that's a
the
bad
drug game.
business to be in.
Yeah.
That's a bad business to be in. There's
Oh
no
yeah.
they play people play for keeps. So yeah. Yeah, that's it's interesting. I gotta watch it. I gotta sit down and watch it. I binge. I'll take a half a day, but like I ain't doing nothing, and I'll get right to it.
You can watch all of them. It take you about 6 hours because they're about an hour each. You can watch the whole thing. Like I said, it's not that many
Okay. Well,
stuff.
well, we're
Actually,
missing our Grizel, the country girl Blanco. So I had met Anaya. She won't
yeah,
be in on this show.
yeah.
She'll shoot a motherfucker down. Bang. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
just give her a minute.
she'll pull that tool out.
She'll pull it to like pow pow.
She'll pull that
Right
tool
away
out.
on a horse on your ass. Sleep
Yeah,
if you want to.
for real,
Sleep
man.
if you want to. I
Pretty
said,
much.
damn. All
Stan
right.
is here. You want me to bring him in?
Oh yeah, let's bring Stan on.
Bring our guests in here a little early, but we'll bring them in.
Early's good.
You know what I'm saying? What up, Stan?
Stan, what's going on, man?
What is happening?
What's
Man,
My
you
going
in
on?
the I
Welcome
love
to the
it in the
Pitchin
captain's
Grindnin
chair.
podcast. What's going on? You for real? Like, you see we looking at your background, your scenery in the background and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Go on, Fleet family.
Yeah, no, I love the CCW safe logo and
Yeah.
and top. That's what's up. Size medium.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
You a medium? No way.
Yeah, I lost some weight, man. Been getting in the gym. That's it.
Congratulations.
All right.
What's up, fam? What's going on?
Ain't
And so
nothing. We tapping in with you, seeing about all your businesses and everything that you got going on. Tell us about this CC Safe thing you got.
Okay, so we jumping right in. I love it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So CCW Safe is a legal service membership plan. And kind of what that means is, well, quick left, sidebar. I was a policeman for 20 years, right, here in Oklahoma City. And if you're involved in a self-defense shooting, me and you, if I was a policeman, they treat us totally different. They treat policemen as a victim of a violent encounter. They treat citizen as a suspect until you prove that you're not. What everybody thinks about the system, we already know it's broken, it's wrong. They say innocent to proven guilty, but you are guilty to proven innocent. It's just the way it is, right? So my partner, he was actually involved in the shooting on duty in like 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And like we went to the academy together. So we were in the academy in 1991. In 97, he was in a shooting incident and it was legit. It was they did a drug raid, some guys pulled guns on him, they shot him, but he still got sued, right? So he had to go through that. Now the process with a policeman, because regardless of if you get involved in the shooting, it's still a homicide, right? But for police officers, they have the tools to, help them or to support them in making it a justifiable homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so that means that still, if there's a dead body, the city's attorney or the DA still has to review it and they look at it. But police officers have homicide detectives, they have, great lawyers, and they pull all this stuff together, put the pieces together, the story, and then they say, okay, that's a good shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Citizen, it's totally different. It's turned on its head because now you have the state's attorney and the DA and all their money. So it's you against the state. So if a person, and I'm gonna just give you a quick example. If somebody tried to rob you and it's just you and that person, they pull a knife on you, you just so happen to be concealed carry, you pull out you shoot them, and now the person's deceased. And the police get there, you say, yeah, I shot that guy. You didn't run. You say, I shot that guy. That's called an affirmative defense, right? I did it, right? You didn't run. Well, you still have to prove that that is a justifiable homicide. Still a dead guy. Now the dead guy can't tell no tales. Now they got to put the piece together. If there are no witnesses, it's you against him. You still have to go. Got to go to court. Got to do it all. So what we created back in 2011 was a system where a business where we take all the resources and the support and all those things that the police have when they're involved in the shooting, and we gave it to citizens. So we have our own homicide detectives that work on your behalf. We have, you know, so we team up with local investigators. We find the best attorneys. Um, we went and found like our so we go, of course we have general counsel, but our counsel that's over choosing the attorneys for you is actually George Zimmerman's attorney.
Okay.
That was by design, right? We try to find the best who can defend people in self-defense shootings, and we collect them. So we, primarily we create a dream team for you. That means that we don't, find ambulance chasers and stuff like that. We hire the best expert witnesses, all that for you to go against the city. And it's with our money.
Mm-hmm.
All you pay is just a monthly or a yearly fee up to about like $179 a year. If you're a concealed carrier, then you're part of our membership group, right? Then we've paid up to like $450,000 for one case. That means you don't pay us any money back. You paid your 179. You shoot somebody, you kill somebody. We come in with our team. We support you through everything. We pay for it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's really the nuts and bolts of it.
Oh, wow.
Right. I know some other national organizations that are, that lobby in Washington, they have a similar program like that, but they don't get the top of the top. They do get ambulance chasers. They don't do the necessary research. Their network is big, but I don't think they have fine tuned or really look out for their client like that. Because I know
you sound like you carried in, right?
of course.
Okay. So you're aware of the industry. The funny thing about it, like the industry is small. Like people should know about it because it's like maybe 21, 24 million concealed carriers across the nation. And like, oh my God, I don't know how many, million, gun owners that protect themselves at home. But you're right, there's about four big players. And when you talk about the lobbyists and stuff, I can say now that the NRA came in back in 2018. In 2018, they stepped into our arena, brought their big name, their big money, and they made a lot of money, but they didn't choose the right model. See, our model is like a police union model.
Mm-hmm.
There's others that have just nothing but attorneys, and there's others, one of the ones that you're talking about, the really good marketers, they got like a magazine, all the great stuff. They spend, a couple of $1 million a month in marketing. So when you look at concealed carry insurance, you'll see them first and you'll see us second because we allow them to do all that because they're also looking for the wrong people. They just want to make money. We want to take care. We come from service background, so we want to take care of you truly as members, right? And I think you were going to say something about, how they have a huge network, right? But it's not about the huge network. It's about choosing the right attorney because there's hundreds of thousands of attorneys out there that work felony cases, gun cases, and stuff like that. But there's only a couple of hundred that specialize in self-defense. The reason why we have Don West. Don West helps to choose that person that has trial experience in your area, right? To defend you. And I'll have to say, like, that one case I was talking about was a North Carolina case, Klassik.
Okay.
And you can look it up. It's called Stephen Maddox, with a PH.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a brother, and he got attacked. And it was very interesting because the person that attacked him 4 times and didn't have a weapon at the time. So he shot him. The guy had no weapon, but he was choking him, doing all the things. He thought he was going to die. And if you don't think that it's hard to get an acquittal for, shooting an unarmed, and that was another black man, so it was black on black, so it had nothing to do with race. But it was rough. I mean, he had an uphill battle, and in North Carolina, initially they gave him a no bond, which for your audience that don't know, that means that you can't bond out until you go to court.
Yeah.
And he didn't go to court for 2 years.
Dang.
So
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. So we flew Don West out there, and we got with the attorney, and we drafted all this paperwork. Like this is that kind of stuff that only white people get. I'm gonna be honest, like so we fly him out there, and we made it within a week. We got him out of jail. We got him a bond hearing, and we paid for his bond, which was 50 grand. So they gave him a $500,000 bond. So it wasn't no joke, dude. And like if you have the opportunity to look that up because it's a great case. We were the first ones in the industry to actually have a successful murder trial all the way to acquittal. So we are very proud of that. And it's because we know the secrets behind the criminal justice system. We know when to act, right? We also know that because it's an affirmative defense saying, I killed that guy, right? That the policeman, because we were all former cops,
Mm-hmm.
that once Klassik tells me that he shot him, Stan gonna go, oh, good. I ain't got to talk to no more witnesses. I don't have to collect no more, evidence. I'm going to write this up so I can go home, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against that. Not really truly being lazy, but yes, they're being lazy by not following through. But what we do, because we know that they do that and they walk away from the evidence, we fly our people in there. We got the only boots on the ground response team. So we fly our homicide guys out there. We go and we give the investigator, we start collecting evidence, right? To work on your behalf. In that particular case, in that North Carolina case, we ended up collecting all the evidence, talked to all the witnesses in the first week. So we got all that. The
Mm-hmm.
state's attorney, it didn't come to his desk, or he didn't really start trying to investigate it until about a month before trial. We said it was two years. Month before trial, witnesses that moved, they don't have the evidence. We done collected it already. So we came and we conquered. And it's important to know, have the right team behind you if you have a legitimate self-defense shooting.
Now, have you ever witnessed any flack from anybody with you having this type of company? Like, you being a former police officer, from just say attorneys, or, different people like that?
Well, what a great question. The answer would be yes, because like even law enforcement, now we cover law enforcement too. Like we cover, active retired officers,
Oh, so this is for everybody, no matter
it's
who it
for
is.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but the majority of our membership base, because it's a national product, the only place that we do not roll is our own hometown. We
I
got
was gonna ask you that.
listen, New Jersey is a different beast. Little political. They
Mhm.
didn't know what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of adopted that thing that, when NRA came out, the people that are against, conservatives and NRA, they attacked us, right? Which was Jersey, New York, right? New York, we do cover NYPD. We got a huge, side thing with them. We cover all of them, or those who join. And then Washington State, right? So these are the only two states that said they did an emergency, whatever they call it, emergency order, and said, "Oh no, y'all get out." And we said, "Well, wait a minute," because they thought we were selling insurance, right, without being not regulated. Well, we were smart enough because, like I said, we understand how to work the back end. We are self-insured with CCW Safe. So everybody else is attached to an insurance company. Aaron, I know you know what I'm talking about. So
Yep.
it's attached to an insurance company. When you're attached to an insurance company, then you fall under the insurance regulators of that state. Well, we knew not to do that. We have our own. We own our own. That way we can give you guys extra things that normally other people can't, because an insurance company cannot fund a criminal act. And that's the trick, because you're being charged with the criminal act, with the crime, right? So the insurance company, who's teamed up with these other competitors of mine, like we're the only ones modeled like this.
Mm-hmm.
When they team up with them, they said, nope, can't cover them, because you know what insurance is about, medical, life insurance. They always try
Mm-hmm.
to find it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no difference with this right here. So the same thing happens. They try to find it out and they take it. And there's one of our competitors that I'm sure you know about, that's going, catch some flack right now about dropping one of their members. I can't name anybody, but
Right.
they're catching somewhere. Their insurance company said, no, we're not going to cover this event, right? But it was a legit. When I say legitimate self-defense, that means a judge has come in and said you can push forward a self-defense claim, a claim for self. There's enough with the evidence, with the issue, with the situation, you can push forward a self-defense claim. If that's all you have, they should have covered them. Well, they didn't. So that dude had to get a public defender. And we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Free.
Right.
That's not
Yep.
what you need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're catching it. And it's good for us because we're catching all the people that are jumping ship. They're coming over here. And we also stand, like I said, if you look at our website, ccwsafe.com, we invite you to look at the other ones. You see that we are about business. We are professional. We hold ourselves to a high standard. And we really want those people that don't think about, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You hear that all the time. And it's like, no, we don't want you. We want those who think about what they do, who understand that it's a huge responsibility to carry a gun, and that if you take somebody's life, it is a real thing. that you carry with you until you die.
I mean, the other thing is, let's go back to the Jersey thing. Do you think you would have became a police officer if you still lived in Newark?
No.
No.
No, I have problems with cops in Newark too.
No.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get
No, I
it twisted.
understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I know.
Yeah. Well, see, and I grew up like, and it's so funny, like, I grew up in Essex County, and for the, shout out to Jersey, Brick City, and all that. I went to Arts Highway teach, and so I went to school, School of the Arts, but I still dealt with the same thing that everybody else dealt with in the 80s. I mean, cops, they didn't get paid enough, so that they caused us some grief, so I didn't like the police until I moved to Oklahoma. And it's just the way it is. I mean, just coming in the urban area, you deal with police, and it's not that they're not that friendly. And then, but my mom always told me, and my dad, you know, my dad just passed in November, so rest in peace to him.
So, yep.
My dad and my mom always told me, it's like, if you don't like something, be part of it to try to create change. Now, you can't always do it, but you can do your part. And if enough of us do it that try to change things, then that's what's going to happen. We will create change. It might take a while, but we're going to create change. Another sidebar, you guys know that I also have de-escalation programs in place.
Right.
With de-escalating officer patrol encounters, also known as DOPE. You guys support me when I do my stuff. That's where I teach policemen how to de-escalate, citizens how to de-escalate, so that they shoot each other less. So there's less, use of force. I have IDDSafe.com. ID Safe is for those with intellectual disabilities. I show them because it's 20% of the shootings involve people like that with autism and such. My nephew has autism. I make that push, and that's successful as well. I teamed up with Special Olympics. I do things over here locally. Like, I really am out here doing my thing. Like, half the time when people are watching, the playoff games and stuff like that, Stan Campbell is working. I'll catch the highlights later.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the only way that I was able to go from welfare to wealth, by truly grinding, just to, shout out, what you guys do, truly grinding. And, I got a chance to watch your documentary as well recently. And, I love hearing the backstory, because, like, we all come from the same place, So, I was on, Broad and Market at 12 years old selling dollar pantyhose and earrings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working since 12, and I never stopped. And I'm not going to stop. I say that in about 7 years, I might try to chill a little bit, but not until I build my empire,
Yeah.
We're here to talk about business, and, like, I have 10 businesses right now, either between my partners with CCW Safe or stuff on the side that I do with the family. Like, I grind, and we always looking for stuff, because everybody that's even listening, you have great ideas. You just have to figure out, how do I find the money to pull this off, right? Because if you find a void, you need to take advantage of it. If you have a great idea, move on your idea, right? You find the void, say, okay, this is not covered, or I could do this better. Figure out who has money. How do you go and get the money? I believe that most of your audience is African-American. One of the problems that we have coming up like us, our parents don't teach us when we walk into a bank not to go to the teller, to go to the president of the organization, right? We spend too much time at the counter, right? Instead at the desk. We had to figure out how to get money to make our ideas, to get the business loans, to do those things, because it's still, let's be real, because of our camouflage, you gotta know how to talk to get yourself over there. So learn how to do that. I love the Bible. It's good to know the Bible, but if you don't learn the tax code, you a fool. Because that's why, Donald Trump and a lot of the others don't pay no taxes. Have to figure all this out, because, when you push against the system enough, it's like, okay, we can only cry so much and ring the bell. That's unfair. Well, figure out why the people that have made the rules to the game are winning, and figure out the rules and win. Then show your kids how to win, right?
Well, see, we'll go back a little bit to the dope movement. Part of learning how to de-escalate or communicate is to know when to talk and how to talk, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So we're definitely gonna have to know how to talk to people that we encounter, and how we're gonna talk when we get in the bank.
No, absolutely. And and it's all that. because everybody, preconceived, ideas about who you are by the way that you got to have the look, you got to know how to, talk the game, you got to do all those things. And I tell you what, it's a thin line between hustle and business, right? So if you are a hustler, if you know that, I know plenty of people that went from dealing drugs to like really starting legitimate businesses, right? But even like if you look at the marijuana, billion-dollar industry of marijuana, right? What did they do? They legalized in all these states, but they crafted and drafted so that the people that really have money already can do the best at it.
Right. They regulate it to a
Everybody else,
point where it keeps us out.
you still fall short. You still fall short because they done made some rules behind the scenes that you can't compete with, right? So again, I step back to knowing how to play the game of chess, not checkers, right?
Now with the CCW safe, right? When
Yes,
you
sir.
started it, what was your mind, your train of thought when you started it? Was it like a case, like, or it's just a passion, or it's just something in your heart, just like this is something that needs to be here to help the world out?
Okay, thank you. So CCW Safe was actually the brainchild of my partner, Mike Darter. He's a CEO. He and I, like I said, we were in the police academy, but in our time in that 20-year period, he and I, we were involved in at least 5 businesses together. T-shirt business. We did all the screen printing. We did a website business because we're both former artists. We did everything. So these little small businesses on the side while you still grinding as an officer and packing in all those hours at work, blue collars. I'm still, a blue collar worker and turned into a white collar. Well, when he came up with that idea back in 2010, and we started researching 11, we were coming up, we were coming up on our retirement. He retired in 2011, I retired in 2012, right? Well, when you come up upon retirement, you're like, well, what's out there to cover us? And at the time, I don't mind naming all people. At the time, the NRA had a insurance product that wasn't like this. And USCCA, they had something that was a reimbursement product, right? And like this is how gangster I am right now. I'm gonna name off the players, right? Because I know that we the best, right?
Yeah.
And then at the time there was another group called Second Call Defense. They still were not acting like how we came out. And it was like, okay, they got these reimbursement products. It's like, you shouldn't have to reimburse this. It should be like how policemen are. Policemen don't have to pay no money. The union have a lawyer for them. The city has a lawyer for them. Homicide detectives come for free. That's how you should roll. And they only cover firearm incidents. We've worked 3 stabbings this past year in 2023, where you don't have your gun. All you got is a knife and somebody's trying to, take your life and you stab them. We cover that. If you choked them to death and you were defending your life, we covered that. We disrupted the industry, and that's kind of what it is. It was his brainchild. He and I and our other partner, who's a lawyer called Sweet, we remixed it. We said, let's do this. Let's polish this thing. Came in real low with a $99 at the time. We ain't $99 no more, but it's $99. We can start thinking about how McDonald's does it with a dollar menu, right?
Yeah.
So you come in real low, we start getting the members, and we build high. And they were like, how are they doing this? It's because that only this many people will use the service.
Right.
All of us that are in this industry are freaking filthy rich. Just going to say it straight up. Because it's you making a lot of money. It's kind of like going to, the casino. You can't beat the casino, right? We know that only 0.1% of all our members will be using. But if you are that one, that's what you do. It's like having insurance in Jersey for earthquakes or for floods, right?
In case shit
Probably
happens.
won't get it. You probably won't get it. But when it happens, it's devastating to your life. Same thing when you shoot somebody.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, bro, when we saw this, we said, okay, let's take the opportunity and make it better, right? And that's what we did. And we say, okay, no one's done this yet. No one's actually did it. And it took us from 2011 to 2015 before we got our first shooting that was attached with a murder. Okay. And not that many people knew about it. And then there was no turning around. Then it's like, okay, with the permission of our member, can we market your name that we did this? We got the win. And he says, yes, we do it. Once you market it, you get more people in, right? Because they know it's a true need. If you understand that the criminal justice system is not for good people, to include you guys. It's not for victims. Criminal justice system is designed to protect suspects. All the checks and balances are for bad people, not for good people. If you're a good person with a gun, you have to be covered. You need us behind you. You can look at the other ones, but I'll let you know straight up. You need to go with us. And the reason why, because we have the most experience. We know what goes on behind the scenes, and we do you right. We come to your location and actually give you the OJ Dream Team.
Ain't nothing better than that.
Dude,
No,
Dream
no,
team, you know what I'm
because
saying?
most people that do carry firearms, they understand the laws, what states you can carry, which ones reciprocate.
yes, sir.
Not to go and there's certain places you're not going to go with it on. You're not going to go into a bar, so that cuts off a lot of negative influence.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a criminal history, so you're not off your you're not out of your mind, so to speak. But I will ask you about you do train officers with special needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To deal with people with special needs, I do.
Right, to deal with people with special needs. And I remember when we were coming up, we would just say somebody was off. Yeah, he a little off or a little touched.
Yeah.
And the officers wouldn't know, oh, he just drunk. You know how how we came up. Oh, he just drunk. But there's that void that you guys filled. How's the reception of the officers that are trying to learn those signs if they're not, if they didn't grow up with people that have those certain needs?
Okay. So I'm gonna swing back to dope first, right? So the escalating officer patrol encounters. Well, the reason why I'm gonna swing back to dope first is because I've been doing that. Tisha and I started that because of my nephew with autism, right? Trying to tell officers, well, we already knew, like everybody knows, officers need to be trained, right? They held to a high standard, but citizens don't know that you are fed a lot of misinformation a lot of times, right? I'll give you a quick, for instance. Many of us were taught that if you get pulled over at night and you see the red and blue lights, drive until you find a well-lit area, right? We've all heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't do that bull crap because you're going to get more tickets or get arrested or increase, the officer's anxiety. Well, wherever the officer chooses to light you up, that's where he has planned for you to stop. If you listen to your parents and keep moving, that is another charge.
Oh, wow.
If you find that place, they're going to call that a slow pursuit, right?
Most people don't even know that type of stuff.
A slow pursuit.
A slow pursuit. I have never heard that before.
You are failing to stop like you're supposed to. So they're going to say he's not stopping, he's still going. Now, does that mean it's truly a pursuit? No, it's not, right? But the law is aligned with the people with the guns and the badges, right? You have to learn what that is. Another, for instance, a lot of us are taught, because this is all challenges and stuff. You challenge officers. Don't challenge if you have the right information. We were all taught, that if an officer arrests you, they got to read you Miranda. Am I right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's not the truth. They only have to read you Miranda if they're going to interrogate you about that crime.
Oh, wow.
So when you challenge him, you go, well, he arrested me, but he didn't read me Miranda. It's not a good charge and not a good arrest. No, it is a good arrest. You just don't know because we were taught from TV that time they arrest you, they're going to read you your rights. If they don't do that, that's wrong. No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You need to get out the car. Yes, they can tell you to get out the car. Do you have to present your ID? Yes, every
Can
state.
they search your car?
Can they search your car? You need to learn Fourth Amendment. On Dope and on IDD Safe, we have videos where I teach you guys Fourth Amendment. I do that because you need to know. If you have more of the right knowledge, you would challenge the officers less on the curbside and cause yourself less grief. Because now you know what they can do, what they can't do. Like I even have I got a clip that I'm gonna share with you. I don't know if you saw Klassik, the one I did where it was just a recent news thing where I did a deal with some folks with intellectual developmental disabilities, and I was teaching them about knock and talks.
Yeah.
The powers that you have when officers come to your door. The powers even when you allow a verbal consent for the officer to search, how you can control where that happens, how long it happens. And you can deny them or tell them, I don't want to talk to you at all if you don't have a warrant or any probable cause to enter my house, right? I teach these people with special needs this. I teach people that don't have special needs this. But you guys need to know the nuts and bolts of the Fourth Amendment. Learn that. If I said learn the tax code, learn the Fourth Amendment too, so you know what officers can and cannot do. All of it's important. Now, do I get pushback from officers at times? Sometimes I do when I give the secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
So when I give the ingredients to the secret sauce about, what powers they have, because the government also allows officers at sometimes to not tell the truth, meaning, during their course of business, right? When you're interrogating all those other things. Well, when I tell you when they can and can't do things and they're not worried stuff, hey, do you mind if I come in and search? Well, if you say no, well, what are you really saying there? Are you saying no, you don't mind, or no, you can't search? You have to
Yeah.
be specific with that. No, I don't want you to search my home.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to enter if you don't have a warrant. You have to tell them that stuff. If you say no, that could mean yes. You got me? So
Right.
it's the way that we word things sometimes. And it's a game of cat and mouse. But the law's on the side of the officers, not to say that everybody's trying to do the trickery, because half the time, 90% of the folks that do badness really deserve to be arrested. It's the ones that are in the gray area, or they just don't know their rights, and they should not end up in jail. Because if you don't think that, that system of the bail and all that other stuff, and if you don't have, the money to have a true lawyer, to represent you, you got to take a deal. Plea deals are for suckers, dude. You will spend time in jail when you shouldn't. There's a lot of innocent people in jail because they had to take a plea deal because if they stacked again, they don't have enough money to afford the proper attorney. That's the beautiful, coming full circle back to CCW Safe. That's the beauty of CCW Safe. We give you what you can't afford. And in your time of need, when you are frazzled, like even officers who's trained, military guys who have trained all these years about what to do in deadly force situation, they're still human. You shoot somebody, your body does certain things. You have memory gaps. Like it's science-based stuff. So you might say, hey, that guy's lying. He didn't say that in the beginning. That's also the importance of not talking to the police before you have your attorney present. Because that's the other thing that happens as a victim of a violent encounter. When you're doing self-defense, you feel compelled to tell your story. It's like, hey,
Right.
I'm gonna tell them everything right now. Well,
Yeah.
you shouldn't tell them everything right now because you're not going to remember everything. You need 2 full day cycles for your body to calm down and for you to remember everything. The problem is when you give that story, right? You give the story immediately, and the officer locks you into a story.
You got to stick to that.
Changes later. When it changes in court, they're going to say your lawyer helped you with that story. They are lying because they didn't say that when they just talked to the officer after they shot the person. You got to think about it. You are your worst enemy, your own worst enemy when you're involved in a self-defense shooting because you won't shut your mouth. All you have to do is say, I will cooperate, officer, because you can't just shut up because it's a dead guy.
Yeah.
You got to say something. I'm the victim. That person attacked me. I was forced to use deadly force. I will give you the rest of the details in the presence of my attorney. I plan to cooperate with you. That's all they need to know. So the guy that first, the 911 guy, the officer that shows up, that he going to hand that off to the investigators. They already know the deal.
Yeah.
They already know that you don't need to be talking right now. They already know you need to calm down. So everybody else is aware of the science-based stuff about what happens with the body and the memory gaps and all that. You don't need to be talking about it for 2 days. And we protect that for you. We schedule. That's what it's important to have a lawyer. Here's your attorney. He will schedule an interview, right? But you need not feel pressure to give that thing because they say, well, you can go home if you give it to me right now, Klassik. Because I will tell you that. Klassik, you go home. You give me the story right now, you can go home. Because you know what? I want to go home. I'm not against you.
Yeah.
I'm just tired, man. I've been doing this stuff all day. I just want to get home.
Yeah.
I want to get your story. You got me? Y'all know y'all got to interrupt me because I'll keep talking forever. So.
No.
You explaining this stuff that the people need to know.
The more you interrupt, the less you learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But the question I will ask, I don't know if this is folk tale or whatever. They say, well, police shootings or police officers throughout the nation. Now, I know different municipalities and states are different, so I don't know why this would be said. Are taught to shoot center mass. Is that true?
That's true.
Or is that is true?
That is true. So I'll tell you why. Right. So if police officers, because I was never a firearms trainer. I trained, use of force, self-defense, de-escalation, escalation. So, they're taught to shoot center mass because center of the body is really about stopping the threat, right? I'm going to tell you right now, most police officers, and I'm going to be real with you, they can't shoot good. They can't shoot. I was in SWAT. The SWAT officers, shout out to them because they train. They shoot very well, but they use less force. The better you're trained, the less force you use. And that's everything, right? And I'm being real with you because as a trainer, national trainer, I'm not just an Oklahoma City trainer, I'm a national trainer. Well, you shoot center mass to try to stop the threat. That means you will miss less. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Try to now if we were taught just to kill people, because most likely, because we're not shooting flowers, right? It's actually bullets. It's going to enter your body. Things are going to happen. It's going to disrupt some of your organs. It's going to cause all kinds of trauma inside your body when you shoot someone. But you miss less if you shoot center mass. That's what that is. It has nothing to do, not trying to shoot your heart. They're trying to shoot you somewhere in the center of your body, right? If we were taught like in, two to the head, one to the body, like military, they're trying to kill people, but for reason, right? For a reason, because you got to stop, multiple threats and you don't have a lot of time. So that's really the deal with that. It's nothing more than that. I know more citizens, civilians across the nation that can outshoot officers all day long, even SWAT guys. Officers can't shoot good. They really want them to just go ahead and concentrate right in the middle so they don't miss. That's the bottom line. Has nothing to do with race, nothing to do with anything else, only not to miss.
Now I know Dope has a mobile app, and I have it, and it does like some crazy things. You know what I'm saying? Do a lot of things. Tell us about the app, the mobile app.
So funny you say that. In 2020, when was that? 2020, I came out with the Dope app, right? That was the police encounter app. I just did a pivot to the IDD Safe app, and I'm gonna tell you why I did, because I was entering my talk about why I went from Dope to IDD, but I'm gonna put all this together right now. So I had more trouble, and here's the deal with police encounters. Something can happen. Where are you guys right now? Are y'all in? Where are you located?
We're in Charlotte.
Charlotte.
We're in
Okay.
Charlotte.
You in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can be in Oklahoma as a policeman, and you get a shooting in Charlotte, and all of a sudden, all the people in Oklahoma City hate me because of your shooting in Charlotte, right? Because the officers shot somebody there, or LA, or wherever. It doesn't matter. No matter what my relationship with the citizens, they hate me because they hate the uniform. They hate what it represents. So people have been trying to bridge the gap of the relationship between citizens and police since the early 90s. And they've been doing that with baby dolls, barbecues, and basketball. And then since the internet, dance-offs, right? I never took part in any of that stuff. Not that I didn't want to. It wasn't my deal. I was doing undercover work. But what I decided to do when I came out with the de-escalation program and said, you know what? We're doing this all wrong. Because you can go ahead and play basketball with a bunch of officers. And then when you're done, you walk up the street and get shot by some different officers, right? So it doesn't matter about the relationship. What matters about the knowledge and of de-escalating, right? What you should do and understanding that it's not just the officer's duty to do so. Because we're talking about human conflict.
Yeah.
And with human conflict, if one person de-escalates, meaning let's say the officer does, and then you don't, you still on high, you on blast, and you still pushing forward, that's not de-escalation.
Yeah.
And what happens is as a national trainer, let me tell you about training too. I'm talking physical training. In my 15 years of teaching Oklahoma City Police and some of the others too, the longer I go, the older we get, the younger the officers come in. So like these millennials, I don't trust them. These Gen Z officers, I really don't trust them because they never fought anybody.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to be worried about what you see as the officer that you believe is Hitler, right? You need to be worried about Barney Fife, that dude that's shaking with the book. That dude's going to shoot you so much faster. So a scared officer is the one you should fear, not the one that, you can feels that he's salty and that he can handle the business. The scared one. So the problem with that, their training is not equal across the nation. It's just not. The major departments, LAPD, and really NYPD, they got a lot of money behind them, major. And I'll tell you, like Nevada, our department is great down here, Oklahoma City. In each state, there's a city that, there's about 50 cities that really have some great training, right? The rest of them, no, they don't. If they don't have a lot of good training, what comes next? they grab their gun fast.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you and what you do causes them to grab their gun fast, because once that gun is out and they don't feel that they can physically handle you,
They're
you
gonna
think
shoot you.
they're gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
And after they shoot you, they're gonna try to explain it and make it match the law. And they got a good chance of that, right? And I'm not saying because a lot of people they want to talk about race all the time and say that it's a war against us. It's a million police officers out there. There's 20, maybe 20 viral videos a year. We have 960 on average deadly force shootings. 80%, I study these. 80% of them are straight legit, aligned with law. 10% or so are in the gray area. Another 5% are accidents. And then down there on the low end are officers with bad intent, right? Same thing when we deal with citizens. 90% of the citizens are great, even if you like police or not. You're not trying to hurt nobody. You got some more, then you got some bangers that act a fool, then you got people that really go out and start targeting officers. So on the opposite end, we're not talking about those people. We can control the ones that are in the gray area and those who are just trying to get through life, right? But
Right.
that you have to move away from the exhausting emotional tie that police encounters have and use your brain and say, okay, if I keep this going, I might end up dead from running a stop sign. Should I die over running a stop? No, I shouldn't. So sometimes you got to treat officers like a rattlesnake and freeze.
Yeah.
Don't move forward.
Hey,
If you
Stan,
gotta,
is this true though, real quick?
go ahead, bro.
I've always heard, even coming up, my pops would tell me, say, listen, you mouth off, the police can actually hold you 24 hours without any. They can keep you. No, that's not true.
I mean, your dad said that probably back in the 70s they did that. They did a lot of things in the 70s and 60s and 70s that they weren't supposed to do. Because it's not really true that they can just keep you for just mouthing off. You got coverage by the Constitution,
Yeah.
First, say what you want, but understand that the First Amendment comes with consequences. So if you run into somebody, like I said, you run to 90% of the officers, they just say, oh God, just another one of them. But you run
Right.
out of ill intent, or you might have some problems because it might be a couple of them. And let's take, let's move it away from race. Look at the five brothers in is that Memphis, right? The Memphis
Yes.
Five.
Yep.
I had a unit like that in Oklahoma City. I was really careful about who I chose to work in there because I need them to do right in under the cloak of darkness. Like when I'm not looking, they need to be doing right.
Yeah.
Right? So I had to choose the right guys. If you don't choose the right guys, regardless of color, don't matter because they be like, let's get more black officers. That don't matter if you don't choose them by the character. They got to have good character.
Yeah.
So if you got five brothers that were rolling around like a wolf pack, if you have officers that cling to each other and that wolf packet, dude, you don't want to mouth off to them because they will protect each other. They will say, whose turn is it to say that they saw him drop the drugs?
Yeah.
Yes, that's some real. That's real. That's real. Majority of them won't do that. But if you get the wrong ones to go together, absolutely. Can they hold you for 24 hours? They can figure it out. Oh, I know officers that arrested some dude. We used to chase this dude all the time. I can't name his name, but we probably arrested him 200 something times around here.
Damn.
Yeah, but this is one guy. And they used to arrest him for public drunk. And the dude didn't drink.
And he didn't drink.
He didn't drink?
They would pop a beer and pour it on him, so he smelled like alcohol.
Oh, wow.
They take him somewhere where he didn't have to get a test, right? Because I'm not talking about driving, I'm talking on foot.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so they're not gonna give him a DUI test, right? And they would arrest him.
Wow.
The dude was an idiot, but he saw it as part of the game. But like I said, stuff can happen. We know that. But like I said, it's this amount of time. But you don't want to be the one, right? I've been pulled over 10 times. Sometimes, I'm not in the mood for it. And the officers I start speaking their language, they know that, okay, yeah, he knows what, or like, I don't let nobody talk to me crazy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I might have to go, hold on. Let me just contact the supervisor. And that's what I tell people, right? Sometimes you just need to look at their badge number, look at their name, make a mental note, let them do what they do. Even if somebody like puts handcuffs on you, doesn't always mean you're arrested either. Sometimes you're detained. But if they make a false arrest, then go ahead and handle that later. Make a complaint, a formal complaint. And I was teaching them that on that app too, Klassik. I'm gonna tell you that. Walked away from that, but I was teaching it. I still will do. I'll do it later on IDD so that you guys can have it. But learn how to make a formal complaint versus trying to do curbside court. right? Don't run your mouth on the side of the road. Ask for a supervisor. Don't get into it, an officer, because we're talking about ego stuff at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's my ego against yours. It's us verbal until somebody gets tired of it. Sometimes the officer, he puts a hand on you and you snatch away, right? Now, what is that? To you, he's grabbing you and he shouldn't. To him, you resisting.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is all perceived differently on both sides. And then I go grab you again and you struggling. Now we wrestling. But again, you don't know who you're dealing with. Now I done grab the hold of a citizen that got some skills.
Yeah.
Wrestling around, you make a mistake, you grab my gun. You grab my gun, boom. Now you're dead. Right? Why? Because you should have filed a formal complaint.
Yeah.
Escalating the thing yourself. That's important. Back on the app real quick before we forget about answer your question. Now the app itself, man, I don't mind telling my business. I spent $100,000 putting this app together, right? It was expensive. The reason why it was expensive because in my own money, not CCW money, my own money, because I cared about the citizens, right? So I put this thing together because I wanted to have GPS, right? So yeah, you can hit it, your family will know where you've been pulled over. I have all these, teaching videos and stuff like that. I taught you right there. It was on the app. You can file a formal complaint and send it in to the police department. I did all those things, make it nice. It didn't take. People were like, they didn't take advantage of it. And I'm like, man, I'm spending 10 grand a month keeping this thing going. I said, this is bleeding me. I said, I got to pull out of this. So I said, okay, let me go do a pivot. And also, when we get the shootings, then they walk away from me. I'm like, what? Walking away? It's like, they think that, I'm on the bad side because I'm a former officer. So they don't want to listen. I'm like, God, you're messing it up. But anyway, so I go to ID. So I said, but what's in people's heart? People with special needs. Special needs, I can get through both sides. I can touch your heart and I can touch the officers' hearts. And then we meet in the middle. And then once I have you there, now we can talk. Because I'm gonna give you a little peek over here in my office. Just do a little turn. Now, all that's a bunch of business over there, right? But you see that picture?
Mm-hmm.
That frame is a picture of a brother and a policeman. The policeman's white, the brother's black, of course. There's some tape that says his life matters and his life matters, right? We have to change the narrative because right here, when we drop our flag and say Black Lives Matter, and nothing against the organization, do not attack me, don't try to cancel me, right?
No, they just might
Blue Lives
steal your
Matter.
money.
Same
That's
thing.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not getting in that debate.
Yeah, I got it.
All I'm saying is that when you say Stan matters, Aaron matters only, Klassik matters only, your life matters. If you don't opposite that, throw and say, Stan lives matter, and I say the same thing to you, we cannot have solutions because I'm being selfish. I'm thinking just about me. So when I teach this, I talk about toe tags mattering because we are dying on both sides. And that's what this is about. Communication, solutions, understanding, and being human, man. That's what this is about.
When you first started your career as a young officer, was this always your mindset, or did it become that after years?
No, I came in 91. This is post Rodney King.
Mhm.
I graduated. The riots occurred already when the officers got acquitted, right?
Mhm.
And of course, Rodney King, first viral video for you young ones that don't know nothing. First viral video tape, not internet video.
Yeah.
When I got on, I'm thinking I'm coming from Jersey. I'm in Oklahoma. They move slower. I'm here. I'm going to take my people. I'm going to the east side. Going with all my black. I'm going to take care of my people. When I stepped out that police car, boy, did they give me the business. They the time you sell out, and you can only deal with so much of that. Now, most of the black officers, they move from the black side of town because like they can't take it.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey. I'm from North. I'm strong. I'm handling it.
Yeah.
I only got pushed off of there because there was a Wolfpack group over there at the time that thought that I was going to tell on them. I mean, top of officers.
Right.
And they sent me to the other side of town. But that aside, right? I was for my people. My people were against me. The timing was wrong, right? So my thought process was never this. And then cut to 1995, April 19th, right? Because in the middle of that, between 91 and 94, I will admit, not true excessive force, but I've done some continued force that I should not have. That means I had legal right to hit somebody once or twice, but I gave him about 8 of them. Because it's like, you know, you shouldn't have even done that.
Bang, bang.
Bang,
So,
bang.
so I gave him the bit. You know, my dad used to, you know, he used to bump me the box. He taught us up. And, you know, I'm from the bricks. So yeah, I give him the business, you know, slapping people, do all those things, right? Well, I learned that from older officers who came up in the 70s and 80s, right? I came up in the 90s, right? There was transitions, things were taken away from officers. In 1988, they took away that you can just shoot fleeing felons. It used to be like that. It didn't matter what the felony was. It could have been like a, you know, a check writing thing. And you run up the street, they can shoot you in your back, right? Then they took that away. So the Supreme Court did. Well, then, you know, we start thinking about reasonable force and stuff like that, you know, as you move forward. And then from 91 to 95, April 19th, 1995, truck bomb, federal building, Oklahoma City, right? I
Yeah.
was talking
remember
about
that
what happened. I was there. I was across the street in federal court on some trumped up charges of excessive force. Anyway, so I was there, federal court. I did get off on that, but a bomb went off. After the bomb occurred, man, and I saw how people of all colors really got together, and Americans at the time stuck it out together, right? It's only happened a few times. It happened in 9/11, it happened in 1995, right? So
Yeah.
when everybody came together, we were just, it didn't matter what color your skin, we were American, right? I was like, you know what? I don't have to be like these guys. In 96, they brought me down to the academy. They recognized something in me, some goodness in me. I started training the academy as a mentor. And then I took over the academy and became the lead instructor in 98. So I was the lead instructor by 98. And then I started, and when that guy put his knee on George Floyd's neck,
Mm-hmm.
was taught that in the academy.
Oh, wow.
I
See?
I pushed to move away from that in 1998. I said, we're gonna kill somebody like that someday, right? So we moved and we started training. That's why I say all training is not the same.
Yeah.
I did it at 98. They're still doing it in Minnesota,
Wow.
right? So all of that stuff matters. When did I start, saying, you know what, it's all about the citizens and this and that? Really, when I retired, I was like, you know what? I had a chance to decompress because what people also don't know, because like with that bombing, that messed me up for years. I didn't cry for 10 years. I didn't show emotions, and then you got life, you got divorce, you got all the different things that can happen, then you officers, like I'll tell you, when the police departments back in 2000 turned into big business, and then the chiefs and administrators is like, okay, anybody got a complaint? Put the officer on administrative leave, do this, do that. Then you got your dad, which I represent as the police department, your mom, meaning those that are citizens, both attacking you and saying you're doing wrong, like you're an abused child. You're going to lash out.
Yeah.
That's what happens with escalated force. They feel like everybody's against them, so they stop caring about you. So then you add that with the internet, with misinformation, these millennials that don't care, don't give a F about anybody, the Gen Zs that don't even know who they are,
Yeah.
right? Right? You put all that together, and it's just it's just a mess.
Chaos.
It's total chaos.
Yeah, man.
I took
You
I
know,
took
you, you know,
look, I
it's
took a breath so you can ask a question. Go ahead.
no. We need more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I
you
agree.
know, we and our co-host who's a woman,
She got
She's
we
sick
will.
right now. So
She's under the weather right now, but we need to have you on another time in the real near future because I have daughters.
Yeah.
They also have to learn how to
mm-hmm.
speak to officers, and because in Charlotte, there's been a couple instances where
Couple inches.
women carry
Mhm.
have came out their car and approached people's vehicles, and we live in the same area. The woman was shot dead at the red light,
Yeah.
Oh,
approaching a man a person in an aggressive
yeah,
fashion in a vehicle.
yeah,
He
road
pulled
rage.
his, and they had it on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had it on camera. And it was broad daylight. We also need to get with women, of course, people of color, but how they can communicate.
Yeah, and you're right. The issue is, and I did this. I also teach a class. I teamed up with a speech pathologist in Los Angeles, and so it's called Spectrum Shield. We do a 3-day boot camp with that, right? So we do a 3-day boot camp where we bring young men with autism, LAPD, and county sheriffs over there, and some other agencies, and we sleep at that location. We teach them about, de-escalation, how to talk to policemen, this and that. Well, the doctor only wants to do boys. And I keep arguing with him, like, come on, man. And I was like, girls could die too.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody could die.
I started my own stuff because I'm like, I love what I'm doing out there, but I have to do something that's national. Like when you go to iddsafe.com, when you look at that, you go, oh, it's a lot of information. Well, it's a lot of information. I designed it that way. There was no centrally located place, no platform where you can learn all the best practices and all the things that can be done out there, and about autism and about all the other intellectual disabilities. There was no other place, so I created it. Right? Remember we talked about earlier, filling the void. Like from Broad Market. You see the void, you feel it. So I did that, right? And now I'm teaming up with different people and grabbing their stuff, featuring them, and I say, okay, let's do this together, because we can't work alone, man. We can't do this. The cops can't do it by themselves. Professionals can't do it themselves. Citizens can't do it themselves. The public. So, and we got to do it together, bro. But you're right. Like, I got so much to say. We could do this once a quarter. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a
say no more.
I got a lot of stuff. We can even talk, topics that you guys have that are, that come about, because I'm gonna tell you the truth as well, not only because you're my family, because everybody needs to know the truth, right?
Yeah.
The officer did wrong, But quick sidebar, funny deal. Back in 2020 December, I had a friend of mine that had a relationship with Dr. Dre, and I ended up at Dre's house, right, in 2020 during COVID, right? So it was about 8 of us. We just there. He didn't know my background, right? And so here I am. I'm in the mansion of Mr. F the Police.
He say fuck the police.
Yeah, F the Police. So I come in there, and I'm a gentleman. So I learned what his favorite drink was Hendrix, and I came with 2 bottles, and presented it to him, because it don't matter if he's wealthy, you still got to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
And with that, sat down, we doing all stuff, having a good time. We all enjoying ourselves. We go to sit down at dinner, and my friend tells her, hey, Stan's a retired policeman. And Dre's like, he says, you know what? I've never had a policeman sit at my dinner table.
Oh, wow.
Right? He says, I got questions, right? So Dre comes at me, and he says, yeah, Stan, so when was it? He didn't say if I did. He said, when was it when you decided, when you make that decision not to inform on your partners when they use excessive force? I was like, woo.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Said, come on.
Welcome to death row, baby.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, oh, Dre. Okay. So I said, it's not just an easy answer.
Yeah.
I said, so I'm going to give you, because because it's like a fraternity. It really is. So I'm gonna give you an understanding like that. And he said, yo, man, just give me the effing truth, right? And he yelled at me, standing up. So
he said it aggressive.
Wait,
yo,
Stan,
yo. So
aggressive.
Stan, does he know you put up 500 pounds though?
Yeah, right.
And
He didn't know me. Huh? He didn't know me. So I had to close my eyes for a second, right? I go, Dre. I said, do you want what you want to hear, or do you want the truth? I de-escalated that fool.
Yeah.
He says, give me the truth. I said, then allow me to build, right? So I started telling him, and I started giving him an understanding. So I gave him the story about, me and my academy mate, this dude out of the academy, we riding together, first year on, right? 2 rookies. I'm 21 years old, 160 pounds and fast as a mother, right?
Yeah.
We pull up to 7-Eleven. This dude looks at us. He gives us that I got warrants look, turns around, start running. We jump out. My partner rides, he drives around the corner. I jump and I scale this 10-foot fence like him. We walk that mother, like I said, I'm 21. I'm doing that thing like a squirrel. He jumps down, I jump down. We get over there. He turns around, puts his hands up. I whip out my asp and I hit him with the stick twice. He goes down, right? I pull my handcuffs out, go to put them on. I put the first on. As I'm putting the second one on, I hear, don't you ever run from the police. I look up. My partner comes up and he football kicks him in the face. So hard. So hard that he lifts both of us up. I'm on top of this guy. This is how hard he kicked me. I'm like, what the effer? So I'm mad. I put the other cuff on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. So we put him in the car. My boss, who had heard us running after him and all that, had come down, right? My boss, a white guy, comes down and he goes and talks to the dude. And he comes back to us and he comes to me first. He says, hey, Soup, that's what they call me. He said, hey, Soup, this guy said that you hit him with a stick and the other officer kicked him in the face. So I wouldn't take no for him. I said, you need to go ask him what he did. Right. Now, y'all know I didn't snitch, but
Yeah.
I was sending him in the right direction for the right information he was looking for, right?
Yeah.
Go ask him what happened. So he goes over, he comes back, and then my boss says, he said that his foot slid under the suspect's face. Right?
Slid.
Slid. He's running up, his foot slid on the suspect's face. So here we go. I'm like, man, this is some bull crap. So I'm thinking my boss not gonna fall for that. I looked at him and I went like this, right? I'm giving him the answer without snitching.
Yeah.
What does my boss do? He writes it up just like that. Right?
Oh shit.
I'm like, wow, that was the beginning. So I tell Dre this story, right? And I said, so Dre, let me give you something. The suspect that we arrested, that was a white guy. My partner, he was Mexican. I said, the problem is I told this story and the whole time you thought he was black, right? And you thought my partner was white.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it doesn't matter though, Dre. I said, I still had a duty to tell on him and I failed to do so. And that's part of the process because we go on vacations together, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like y'all, Joe Blow citizen, you work at McDonald's and your friend steal a Big Macs out the back door, you ain't gonna tell on them because y'all hang out.
Right.
You at the office, you taking some some pens and stuff. You ain't gonna tell the person y'all go on vacation together. It's the same thing. There's no difference. So I said, Dre, although you were never a true gang member, you hung with affiliated folks.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't snitch on them no matter what they did. I said, Dre, there's no difference. When I said that, Dre said, you know what, Stan? I get it. He said, let's sit down and eat. And we broke bread. And
That's what it is.
And then I spent the night. So moral of the story is it can happen to all of us. We're human, dude. But it takes communication, just like me and Dre. It takes communication to sift through the BS, right? And to come up with solutions. That's what I got to say about that.
So,
It is.
I mean, it's definitely pitching and grinding. We're going to have you on within the next couple of months easily. What are some parting words you have for the people that are listening, in that are going to be hearing the show this week?
Awesome. So again, guys, I want to remind you, of course, ccwsafe.com. Check that out. We also just subscribe if you carry concealed or you have a gun to protect your home. Please subscribe to our newsletter. We give podcasts with information like this all the time. I think I'm about to start hosting a podcast again, but we give a lot of information. We bring in professionals to tell you what you can do, what you can't do. So that's free. You need to join us if you do carry though, because like I said, don't go at this alone because it's going to cost you and it's costly. It's about $500,000. You get into a deadly force shooting that you don't have. Second to that, please support your special needs groups in your areas. Check out iddsafe.com. Check out the de-escalating officer patrol encounters as well. I still have videos on there. You can learn free stuff. It don't cost nothing. Learn it free. Learn the tax code. Learn about how to, become successful, man, to really be grinding. That stuff's important. And the last thing I have to say is think about others as well. Be understanding, dude. Have empathy, take care of one another, and peace.
We appreciate you coming on the Pitchin and Grindnin podcast, Stan. We definitely got to bring you back.
Yeah, I'm here for you, bro.
All right, man. Much love. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, love, kid.
All right.
Sweet love. All right.
All right.